Class of 2026, Julius Avent, who has been very productive so far through the early EYBL season. Uh, Played 3 games, went 3-0 for the PSA Cardinals. PSA Cardinals, very historic kind of Jersey area, kind of that area program. Really successful AAU wise. His team goes to a 3-0 record in the first session where he had 10-9, 15-9, and 14-11 respectively in those games. 6'7", starting to grow into his body a little bit more. Like I see him listed at 170 on 24/7 Sports. Is maybe he's gotten bigger since that weight was taken. The frame looks like it's kind of filling out a bit. And with the frame filling out a bit and him having this productive first session, you know, I think you're keeping an eye on Julius Avent as one of the guys who might continually rise throughout the summer with his production. He has listed offers from Seton Hall, Xavier, Villanova, to name a few. Plays for Bergen Catholic in New Jersey, so a really good high school team. I actually saw Avent for the first time when he was playing against Dylan Harper's Bosco team, Bosco Prep last year. Really high level game, really high level players, really good prospect, 6'7". I like the frame a lot. And after that first session, he has kind of gotten some bigger schools in the fold. He's said to be contacted by Michigan State now, Iowa State, Virginia, Texas, Virginia Tech, Marquette, just to name a few, have been in contact with him. So one to watch throughout the summer. One that I definitely could see being in the Michigan State mold, which I'll talk about a little bit more moving on here. But I'll throw it to you first, Dion. What do you think about Julius Avent and what you see with his game?
I like his game. I don't think, I mean, I also, I don't think he thinks this either, but he's definitely not a one and done guy, right? So, like, I'm sure you can talk about a little bit, fits that Michigan State mold. Very high motor, attacks the glass well. In every single big game he's played, EYBL wise so far, 10 points, 9 boards, 15 points, 9 boards, 14 points, 11 boards. They're 3-0, so he attacks the glass well. I think he plays really hard on defense. I think he can play a lot of different positions as well. I will say the reason I think he can play a lot of different positions is he's a bit of a tweener. And I think you can convince yourself he's a four. I think you convince yourself he's a three. I think if you wanted to get really crazy, you could probably swing him at the two slightly just because of his size. I think he can guard 2 through 4 as well.
We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code SLEEPERS. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video.
Um, So offensively, I think he's a little bit more limited than on the other end than he is defensively. But he's a raw prospect. I think you'll bring him in. I think this is a 3 or 4 year guy that fits a little bit of that Izzo mold. Oh, also, for what it's worth, the Villanova mold, the Iowa State mold as well. I think this is a list of schools that are perfect for what he brings to the table.
Yeah, honestly, I think if Jay Wright's in the fold, he's a Villanova Wildcat. I don't think Willard's got enough to get this done, but Avent does have kind of that mold where he could be in that, kind of tweener 6'7", but like he has very long arms. I'd be interested to see like what his wingspan is. I think he's scratching the surface, which is kind of why I see him gaining a lot of traction this summer playing for PSA. But he kind of has that mold of like maybe a small ball four. Also could play some three in the certain systems possibly and be a really good player. I got to put it out there. Michigan State loves a good 6'7", like maybe jumper's a little bit questionable. Put him in the green and white with that wingspan. I think he'll be a really good fit. Do you have a favorite maybe early landing spot for him with some of the schools that are on his list? I know you said Villanova, but are there any other that stick out to you?
I think it's Iowa State or Michigan State, right? Like I think Iowa State, Michigan State kind of their roster construction is very similar. Um, maybe at times Michigan State's is flashier with the high school recruits. At times Iowa State's is probably flashier in the portal, but they're looking for the same type of guys, whether they're getting them from the same spot or not. And I think if you go in and you work with Izzo, who by the way, like different topic, I'm curious how long he's got. But if you go in and you work with Izzo or you go down there and you work with Otts, like I think by that junior year, this is a guy that's going to be a very formidable college player.
Definitely. It'll be interesting to see kind of how it formulates, how it works out. Gonna be interesting to see what he looks like throughout the summer as well. Like I said, a guy that's almost averaging a double double in the first session and winning games is going to continue to gain traction and continue to, I think, see his recruiting in the uptick and also maybe see his ranking kind of rise. He's a four-star kid right now, just right in the 100 area range. I can see him currently rising throughout the summer, but really interested to see his game throughout the rest of the summer, see kind of where he goes, and it'll definitely be a recruitment to watch. I think Julius Avent is going to make some strides here and make some things happen this summer on the AAU circuit.